Episode 64. I have decided, as part of my attempts to capture everything that there is in the game, to a reasonable extent, for the sake of reviewing at a later time in my life, I wanted to sample the relic weapons of A Realm Reborn, just a little bit, in order to demonstrate in video what it's like to go through this grind. The grind is different for each expansion, but I think in A Realm Reborn and other earlier expansions it's particularly cumbersome, not very interesting. But we'll at least start this out to see what it looks like. Unfortunately, I did some research before this and found out that there is some optimization that I completely screwed up. We'll get to that when we get to that though. For now, we have to decide which weapon we want to upgrade, even though we won't be using any of those weapons. I'll just go ahead with Sumner, just because I think Komori probably wants to learn how to make a book. Using a hammer and an anvil is probably sensible to her. And for what it's worth, somehow Geralt is able to do it. Just let me make one thing clear. It might be as I'm repairing kettles to pay for yesterday's mead, but I still got me pride as a master weaponsmith. You'll get no less than the finest out of me forge. And it might be as you got that goddamn slip of paper, but it'll only get you so much. Restoring relics like these calls for some rare old materials, and I ain't got none. So if you want the job done, you'll have to run along and fetch them for me. So, what is it you want restored? Did I hear you rightly? You're saying that you revived the long-lost Allegan art of summon? Bloody hells, I always thought that was naught but a myth. If it's as you say, the tales I heard growing up might well have some truth to them. In particular, the one about the maiden Wii U springs to mind. 'Twas the most detailed among them, you see. She was a right ravishing lass, this Wii U, with bright green eyes and a fiery spirit to match. Alas, she goes on to meet a premature end. According to the tale, she and her comrades square off against Odin, the dark divinity. Right when the battle takes an ill turn, she sacrifices herself to save her party. Right tragic, I know. Now the encounter supposedly took place in the Southlands over in the East Shroud. Assuming there's any truth to the tale, might be as the grimoire used by Wii U still lying out there somewhere. To be sure, the Allegan Empire's 3 era's gone, but there ain't no harm taking a look, eh? The research that I did into this questline pointed out that there's kind of a front-loaded set of content that's slightly more interesting than the rest, although I didn't really get to the end of reading all the quests involved up until the end. But everything after this initial set of quests is going to be grindy stuff like materia melding and getting tomestones, and even fates, which might be the worst because they time gate you and also work on a % chance of you getting the material that you need from them. I'm definitely going to stop way before we even reach that step, but it's interesting to think about what exactly you need to do to get the high-level gear back in the day, or what you needed to do. Unbelievable. On my main character, I got to around that step where you needed to grind out fates, and I simply got sick of waiting for them. Needing to do around, I don't know, 56 fates or something like that, on average. Back on my main character, I also tried to do all of the blue quests as they came to me. This is one of the blue quests, but I don't consider it to be the same as the other ones. In fact, in later expansions, these relic quests start off as blue, maybe, but then become not blue, depending on what you're looking at. I know in at least Heaven's Ward they become a different icon, something that's easier to ignore. Same dialogue. Well, bugger me. Never in me wildest, drunkest dreams did I imagine you'd actually find the bloody thing. Bah, so I'll have to fire up the forge after all. Having said that, the relics are in far worse shape than I thought. It ain't like to survive much pounding in this state. Pounding a book. You're teaching Komori a lot about the art of bookmaking. Truth be told, I'd be worried about sneezing near it. Now, we're gonna need a new host what'll give itself for the restoration. Bring me an Erudite's Picatrix a casting, one with 2 grade 3 Savage Might materia melted to it. This will serve as a vessel for the restored relic. Remember, that's 2 grade 3 Savage Might materia, aught less, and you'll get naught from me, no matter how many slips of paper you wave in me face. Well, he's the master booksmith, I guess. As far as Komori goes, as far as she knows, the way to make a book is to stuff a void scent into a book and create some kind of living abomination. Who says a hammer and anvil is the wrong way to make a book? For this step, of course, you just need the crafted weapon that you would have made at the highest level of crafter back in the day. This one's being sold with the wrong materia. We'll just have to meld it ourselves. And again, that's 2 grade 3 Savage Might materia. Our cheapest option is 750 gil. We're going to throw out the rest. Yeah, this seems right. Komori knows how to meld, right? We did that quest. Shouldn't there be an option in the menu here? Am I blind? Maybe we only learned how to extract materia way back when during the kobold stuff. Did we not actually learn how to meld? No, of course not. Melding is a crafting/gathering thing. Well, for times like these, certain NPCs exist specifically for melding. I might be one of the few players that's actually going to use one. What even is my current item level? 80 on the Sumner. And for the Black Mage, I just went and bought something from the market board, so that I don't have to worry about catching up. Item level 110. What is this anyway? 55. I guess I would have been highest level at 2.0. Same dialogue. And here's your book. Now, it is a fine base you've brought me. Well, we did buy it. Now, just the thing to host your relic. I've merged what was left of the relic with the host weapon, so the groundwork's done. But don't go jumping for joy just yet. There's still more to do. I need to work on the finishing touches, but due to the reinforcement work I've had to do, the book's proven rather stubborn to mend. To get round to this, we'll be needing some alumina salts, a substance made by grinding a rock called alumina into fine grains. Unlucky for you though, it ain't easy to get a hold of. Maybe you already know this, but there's beasties out there what devour their prey whole. And some of them swallow rocks so as to aid with digestion. The Dorm Chimera, what terrorizes the central highlands of Corthus, happens to swallow alumina salts for this purpose. Say the bugger and bring me the alumina salts, and I'll see to the finishing touches on your weapon. Do the Dorm Chimera in the duty finder, or by examining the destination in Corthus. Do it as a summoner. I guess we'll check out where it is, but first, let's actually start it in the duty finder. What is it classified as? Or do we actually need to unlock it at the location? I see. I believe this is classified technically as a trial. I don't think it's 8 players. No, it is 8 players, isn't it? Whenever people queue up for duty roulette, doing trials or whatever, this is one of the most boring options that you can get because everyone steamrolls it. I guess back when the game first came out, like most things, it was still a form of a difficult encounter. But now it's just kind of funny. Here's the cave. It's funny in how quickly it goes by, and funny in how the players kind of stumble over certain mechanics, I guess. Actually, it's the same mechanics that we encountered back in the dungeon where we fought the Chimera. Yeah, I guess we'll get to see more of the dragon's roar and the lion's breath or whatever, stunning and making people run around and all that. At least, we might. If it doesn't take 26 full minutes to actually get into this queue. We'll see. If I don't come back, then I guess that's the end of the video. I do not even want it in the recording how long that queue took. I won't even say it. All this for a guy that'll go down in a moment. We'll at least get to see some attacks, I guess. Oh. That leaves an AoE then. That wasn't in enough for the dragon. And we're done already. Didn't even get to see the ram's voice. Truly an unreasonable amount of wait time. Well, at least we can continue. But it shouldn't be long before we hit another long wait time wall. Actually, before we continue with Geralt, I was wondering, the way that we are now, would we be able to do this unsynced? We're only 5 levels above, but this is like 2.0 base stuff. The lowest of the high-end stuff there is. 5 levels probably isn't enough, right? It was still putting up a decent, not really a decent fight with 8 players, but this probably doesn't increase our damage that much, right? With Sumner's healing ability, this might actually be doable. With just a few more levels, this would actually be a cakewalk, wouldn't it? Not really having any real problem with MP. The quote-unquote problem with trying to heal as a DPS class is that it would quickly run out of MP. But it seems like we are running into a problem now. Well, I'd say it would be doable. With maybe a little bit better optimization. Maybe higher gear as well as a few more levels. How do we... Here we go. That might almost be preferable to the wait time I had to endure, trying to figure out how to do that solo only 5 levels above. But we don't have to worry about that now. Just a dozen more kettles, and it's off to the tap. You again? When the 7 hells do you want this time? Thought you saw the last of us, huh? And of course, the adventurer comes back triumphant. Should have bloody known not even the Chimera would be able to put you out of me misery. Hand over those Illumina salts and I'll get right to work. There, the deed's done. I squeezed out every ounce of me skill to restore your weapon, and I think you'll agree it looks the part. Yet there's something missing somehow. Though I'm buggered if I know what. The piece just lacks a certain glow, as it were. We need to learn more about the relic. Literature surrounding the hero associated with it would be a fine place to begin, but I ain't exactly a scholarly, and haven't the slightest inkling where to get me hands on such stuff. So much as I hate to say this, Rowena's probably the one to talk to. Thing is, I'd sooner shove hot kettles up me arse sideways than owe that thrice-damned Heridian another debt. Herodin? I don't know that word. You're gonna have to make yourself useful once again. Take yourself to Rowena and ask her for help. And return here once you learn some of what might be of use. The Geralt and Rowena affair. This is the true reason people do any relic quests. For all of the spicy details between these two. If you're a freak. You're looking a bit more run down than before. Your dealings with Geralt taking their toll? Actually, forget I even asked. My mouth tastes so vile if I so much as think of that sorry specimen. So is there something you need? Literature on the hero of old who once wielded your weapon? I reckon I can find what you need. Might take a bit of time is all. Of course, this ain't a charity I'm running here. I can get you what you want, but you'll have to do likewise for me. I'll track down literature on Wii U, the Sumner Maiden of legend. For your part, you're to bring me an Amdapor glyph. You'll find this inside Amdapor Keep, a ruined castle situated in the South Shroud. Clear on the deal? Then run along and fulfill your part of it. And to go any further, we need the Ghosts of Amdapor quest. Pretty annoying. But in order to do that, there are other prerequisites we have to meet. There are a couple of different Amdapor things that I might be having crossed wires, but this is the quest that we have to do. And for this quest, for some reason we have to do the Aurum Vale first. So, the thing that we've been putting off is something we can finally say we need to do. turn off unsync. And there it is, Orm Vale. And in the same area, I think this is the same area. Shouldn't these be the same area? In Cortus? I'm not sure why that was under... Why it's under Western Thanalan, when it's actually in Cortus. Maybe that's where the quest started. Anyway. Komori's destination is the Orm Vale, and now that we have flying, the single aetheryte that's available in Cortus isn't too far from any destination. At least, it won't feel like that anymore. Not only does flying allow you to go as the crow flies, in a single direction, it also increases your speed compared to walking on the ground on a mount. Actually, I'm not sure if the riding maps will actually increase your flying speed or not. They probably do, yeah. Now, Komori is here for the Orm Vale, but because I'm trying to clear up everything that I left behind, we'll enter Dismail Darkhold. Let's say Komori thinks this is the Orm Vale and is mistaken. Welcome to Dismail Darkhold, built to withstand all Dravanian ploys and plans. These were natural caves behind me, until House Dismail began to enlarge, connect, and fashion them into a stronghold. Alas and alack, the void sense struck, interrupting the work. Alas! Then, in the confusion, Guardians infiltrated the keep. Alack! All in all, 'twas a fine mess. The Guardians were eventually forced into retreat, of course, but the void scent remained. And so, the fortress goes uncompleted. A home for abominations. Woe, woe is us. Yet the war with the dragons rages, and we have no nights to spare for this noble mission. Even I am here strictly on a very long tea time arranged by Sir Carolo. Please see to these abominations, Madam Adventurer, Madam. I have much prowess with the paperwork, should you require aid of that sort. And inside Dismail Darkhold is the Orm Vale, right? That must be it. We're in the right area. It has to be in here. Thankfully, I think the dungeons, even if they're side content, will have a much shorter queue time than something like the Chimera, which almost nobody has unlocked. And it only requires 4 people, as opposed to the Chimera's 8. We'll see how long this one takes, I guess. A reasonable 10-minute wait time, if only all side content worked like that. Dismail Darkhold hasn't undergone too many changes, I don't think, since it was first made, as far as I can remember. Which means there's still some jank, you could call it. Mainly you want to stand in these light areas to avoid some damage from a guy that comes by every now and again. That guy. The all-seeing guy. Could it be the Eye of Providence? Or perhaps the Eye of Ra? No. Not every Ahriman floating eyeball that we see is going to be that. In fact, none of them are going to be neither the Eye of Providence nor the Eye of Ra. We'll find it one day. You have to stand in those blue circles to open a gate or something. I think it goes by faster if more people are in it. Or maybe not. The real problem is having enemies up your ass. When you're trying to stand in a circle, but they make it a little bit too perilous. I think someone else took care of the other circle out here. This is the kind of thing that you wouldn't see in other dungeons later on. The kind of jank of having to activate buttons like that. It's not the worst thing in the world. And for this boss, it actually needs to be inside the crystal's light for it to take damage. The tank, of course, already knows what they're doing with this. The only problem, however, is that you can't beat the boss using a single crystal, because it eventually runs out. At least I don't think you can. We almost did. Maybe if I was focusing more on single target DPS rather than using AoEs. I guess I should eat some food for the XP buff. Not only are the mechanics a little bit jank, but the layout too is kind of strange. There's some weird verticality here, like a lower level or something, which you don't really interact with. Again, more stuff that is probably just for some extra treasure chests. Previously may be useful for people needing the gear, but no longer worth your time. Hey, this guy's Leon S. Kennedy. Wow. This boss, I'm pretty sure you just single target DPS the guy down. There are more mechanics, but probably worth ignoring. Here's where standing in those circles really gets annoying. Not only are the enemies a problem, but you have to contend with these things. And the timer resets if you stand out of it. Does it reset all the way? I don't know. I don't think I did anything useful with that timer. Yeah, it probably goes by faster with more people in it. Oh dear. I kind of made that more trouble than it was worth for the healer. Leon here. Probably distracted them from healing the main tank by taking damage myself. My apologies. I think this boss is at least somewhat interesting. It has some mechanics to it. Wherein you have to take care of something making it invulnerable. That and its big targeted attack on a single player, like it did for me just now. Kind of makes people run around a bit, interestingly. Keeping my eye on that last crystal, and there it is. As soon as it's targetable. Oh, we only have a melee or physical range DPS and a magical range DPS. It would have been better for me to use it, but I guess I just assumed I was with a melee DPS. Should actually watch out for that when it's time to use Limit Break. I'll give it to the healer if he stuck around. As a way of apology for taking that damage. Well, they're out. It'd be nice if you could commend players during a dungeon, but I guess the whole point is that you want to have people evaluate the entire performance rather than make an early judgment. Speaking of early judgment, Komori realized this is not the Aurum Vale. Oops. The Aurum Vale is actually over here. Obviously. Hail, adventurer. Wait, you're not telling me. Nedrick sent you. Tell me this, adventurer. Do you know how the Aurum Vale earned its most enticing name? Well, allow me to enlighten you. The cave is rich with sulfur and metal ore which, through reactions with the groundwater, combine to exude golden-hued fumes. A beautiful sight, that is, until you realize the damned dust clouds are burning your chest from within. If you still wish to take your life in your hands, I'll not be the one that stops you. But do try not to get killed. I've dragged enough corpses out of the Vale to last me a lifetime. Not sure what this has to do with Amdapor. I mean, Edric is the same guy that gave it to us, but that's really the only point of connection that I can think of right now. And the supposed wait time is 8 minutes. Guess we're waiting. And better yet, this one was only a 5-minute queue. With my apologies to the rest of the team, everyone hates the Aurum Vale. If mainly for this beginning area, where people just try to hang around the edge and avoid most of the mobs, but find that proves more difficult than it usually is. Also, the poison pools. Everyone hates the poison pools. Great, I've attracted more attention than we need. Looks like our tank is doing okay on health. In that last dungeon I tried to help with the healing a bit, but I'm pretty sure the healing that I can do as a DPS is not really worth anything, even if I'm trying to, I don't know, keep the tank on the last bit of HP. Actually, we made it through that beginning section pretty easily, compared to some other runs. This boss is also somewhat annoying, for its poison mechanic. I'll just stand over by this fruit to claim it. It's giving us the gold lung, which slowly increases as the battle goes on, with each stack giving you more and more poison damage over time, only cleansed by the fruit. The general recommendation is to take a fruit around 2 or 3 stacks, or something like that. Because the fruit only regrows so often. At the rate we're going, I think I'll take a fruit now. Because I am the one with the least amount of health here. I don't think I can take a new job quest, but apparently I can. Pretty sure I have to complete patch 2.5 for that to happen. Ah, the tank hasn't taken the cure. He still has the gold lung. Well, he's the tank. He'll be fine, right? It might just mean more healing that the healer has to do. This area as well, I believe you can skip some of the mobs if you're careful. Or just go for all of them at once. That works too. Maybe? No, I don't need to heal. The healer's got it. I just need to DPS. That's the best healing that I can do. Remove the source of damage. With the rise, we didn't really have any problem after the tank went down. I guess most of the mobs were killed so that, even with the tank dead, there wasn't enough DPS to kill anyone else. I think this guy's dangerous if you're too far away from him. There we are. And not too close either. This is one of the higher level dungeons, so the way they space out the AoEs or kind of make you run in and out is a little bit more fun than earlier dungeons. I hope I'm the only one going for the loot. Really need those seals. Not sure why I need them, I just want them. Aurum jacket. What does that look like? Oh, I didn't get it. Whatever. Interesting. Guess the tank is having some trouble finding their way. Well, everything looks the same inside a cave. Oh, that's a lot of enemies. It could be in another resurrection situation. I'll try to save my swift cast. This time we do have a melee DPS in the party, so that guy should technically get the limit break on the boss. But I'll try to keep an eye out if it looks like no one's using it. More wolves. One of the deadliest enemies in Final Fantasy. Because of their debuff capability. Like the first boss, we'll have to be careful to take in some of these fruits whenever we're getting too many debuffs. Someone's almost dead. Now the healer got him. I'll save that swift cast just in case though. What hit me? Alright, time for a limit break. Well, despite the death, I think that tank took this at a pretty quick pace, so I think I'll give the commendation to him, if he stuck around. I think we got a lot of loot that time. But the real treasure is progressing the quest. I think I've had enough time in core this. Fought the Chimera, did 2 dungeons. That's enough for an episode. It's time for Komori to take a break.